Last week, I built this trading bot and ran it live on YouTube. Surprisingly, the results were very positive. But I have to say this honest part out loud. This isn't about my results. It's about understanding the design and engineering behind this deterministic workflow. All the code I use in this video will be linked in the description. And this video, I'll break down all the step-by-step process to help you understand it. First, I'll walk you through the setup. Second, I'll explain you the logic behind this strategy. And third, I will show you a live demo. And finally, once you understand what is actually happening under the hood, you can also modify these parameters and make it your own. All right, so for this setup, first, let's clean our chart. So here we're gonna go click on this and remove all the indicator. Now we got the clean slate to begin with, and then we're gonna click on this Pine script editor and then create new, and then this time we're gonna create a strategy. So let's go ahead and remove all the existing templates, and you can find this link on the description, and here on this mean reversion video number 4 under the indicator code, you will find the code for our indicator, and we can just copy this, and then here we're gonna paste it, and we're gonna click on add to chart, and you should see the indicator loading on the chart, and we can just close this to see this signal label. So now, for this indicator, you can see all the performance of this indicator. It actually turns out it's outperforming the buy, but I'm going to explain this later on in the video that you might actually can get better than this with the risk management tools that we have within the NightShark. Okay, so for the automation part, let's go ahead and create a new script on the NightShark. We're going to create new, and let's just name it mean reversion. And then we're going to click on the code part, and here we're going to paste this NightShark code. So here, these are the 2 lines that we need to adjust, and I'm going to explain the mechanism behind it later on. So let's go ahead and paste it, and we can continue with the setup. So for this setup, what we're going to do is we're basically going to automate the trading view indicator onto the trader weight. So here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to open these side by side. And for this, you can just create, you can just press like a Windows plus side arrow so that you can get these on the side and side by side, this kind of setup. And what it's gonna do is now is this setup is for, we're gonna monitor the signals on the trading view, and we're gonna execute these orders onto the trader weight. Okay, so unlike previous video, we're gonna have like an extra setup here. So we're gonna need these total P&L and open P&L. If it does not look like this, you can always click on this column, and then if you want to remove any unnecessary stuff, you can just remove this, drag them to the left side. And if you want to add more, you can do this. And for this, all we're gonna need is this open P&L and total P&L, because our decision going to be based on these numbers as well as we progress towards the trading. So let's go ahead and mark our area 1 as on the none on the signal label on the trading view. By the way, if you ever get confused, there is also the instruction on this link, and you can always follow through. But let's go ahead and create here for this video too. So for the area 2, this is going to be important. We want the area 2 under the numbers of the open P&L. And for the area 3, we're going to draw this over the total P&L. So whenever you're drawing it, just make sure it is really clean. It just captures those numbers, and we can just leave a little bit space on the front, because as the number increases, we also need to capture those, right? So that's the important part here. And for the points, we're going to click on buy for the point A and sell on the point B, and we can just leave a point.c on an empty space for this setup. So there's a lot of things to unpack here, so buckle up. So the first thing that we need to understand is we draw these areas, right? So area 1 here, our area 2 on open P&L, area 3 on total PNL. So to begin with, so for the entry, this strategy is mostly about the mean reversion, which means if we see a sudden spike upwards, we're betting on it's going to cool off and come down. And if there's a sudden spike downward, we're betting on it's going to cool off and it's going to start moving upwards. Of course, it's not going to be right 100% of the time. So that's why we have these additional risk mechanism to prevent our losses. So the first thing is whenever we get these blue arrow signals, the signal is going to turn to buy, and these moments it's going to turn to sell. So when it's buy, it's going to click on the buy market to open a long position. So that's our entry. Now we are looking for these two series of calculations. Okay, so these two series of calculations is going to be happening, and Nightshark is constantly fetching these information and doing the calculation in the real time. So let's talk about the open offset first. What does it mean to have it set it at negative 150? So when you set the offset at negative 150 for the open offset, let's say you start a position, it starts with 0, your open PNL, and it's going to keep log of the max of the open PNL every time it moves up. Let's say from 0, our stop loss is going to be at negative 150. So negative 150 is the cushion that we're keeping. And if you change this number, it's going to change this accordingly. So at 10, the stop loss is going to be negative 140. At 100, it's going to be negative 150. So at 300, it's going to be 150, positive 150. So this is how it keeps increasing the stop loss. But let's say after it hits $600, our PNL starts winding down and our stop loss is set at 450 and it reached 449. So at this position, what's going to happen is it's going to trigger the offset and Nightshark going to close the position. If the position was long, it's going to click on sell to close the position, and then we are off to start looking for new signals and so forth. Now let's talk about the daily offset that we set here. It's $600. Same to the open offset. We are keeping the cushion for $600. So this is going to reset with each new open trade, right? But our daily offset is going to stick around throughout this session. So to begin with, if our daily PNL starts off with at 0, our stop loss is at negative 600. And throughout the trade, if it reaches to 150, our now new stop loss is at negative 450. And when it reaches 600, we are even out. And as it keeps moving up, it's going to keep logging the new max. And let's say after 2,500, it starts winding down. At 2,500, it was at $1,900 stop loss. And when it reached 1899, since it starts dropping, there was no new max. It's going to close the position and also shut down the Nightshark. So daily limit, once we reach this threshold, Nightshark going to stop and there won't be any new scan of signals or entering any new trade. So this is how it works. And if you have any other questions, make sure you comment down below and I will answer each and every one of your questions. So what you're seeing here is the about 16 hours of recording time being fast forwarded. So the main idea behind this is whenever you see those small laser moving up near the cursor, those are actually the movements of cursor going and placing those orders. And on the left side, you can also see Nightshark populating all those logs, and you can inspect it, all the transaction happening there. And if you like to, do the deeper inspection, you can also check out the recording that is on my channel's live section to see the real-time playback of it. As I mentioned before, if you have any other questions, just make sure you comment down below. I'm happy to answer all of your questions. If you like this content, make sure you like and subscribe, and I'll see you on next one. Thank you.